Hey, this is Glendon with day 14 of Hustler University, the path to a six-figure business. And let's get into it. The inventory matrix. This section of Hustler University was born out of what I see on YouTube frequently. This is the video. You have anywhere from 5 to maybe $100. You go to the garage sales, you go to Goodwill, and you score. You really score. You'll buy some for $1 and sell it for 40. You'll buy some for 5 and sell it for 60. But I want you to think about something. How much is your time worth? Because I went to an estate sale a few weeks ago. And I walked around and I chatted up to people and I actually bought a few things for personal use. And then it dawned on me within 7 minutes of being there, and I stayed for an hour just to look around, why I stopped doing estate sales. You go before the 50% off, you have to find an item that fits into your inventory matrix. But the thing is, as long as you're doing low budget, small, easy to get, easy to sell items, you're going to have a ceiling on your income, and a very short ceiling, because you need to really push your inventory. And this is kind of a refresher, but it's more pointed on some information that came earlier in Hustler University, but it's something that is worth repeating and reinforcing. That is one of the biggest problems with resale, that methodology of making money. And it's also an issue of wrong products, because it takes money to get certain things, and some things you can get for free. Now, I'm not saying abandon what you're doing to just adopt this new methodology. What I'm saying is put this on your development map, where at some point you will be getting better items to resell at a higher profit margin. Because you need a few things that when they sell, you're like, ooh, oh, it went for 115. Oh, it went for $400. It went for $500. I mean, you need those as well as the small stuff. Because understand, I am not saying abandon that. I'm saying create an inventory matrix. You have these small things. And the reason I'm hammering this home is a lot of people are stuck on those small items, and they really need to ramp it up. Because I'll give an example of a friend of mine who made this change. I don't know when, but I see it on this YouTube channel. And that would be the Redneck Picker. Redneck Picker was getting this small stuff, and he has made a conscious move toward furniture. He's not going after the small stuff, and I know why he's going after furniture, and I will talk about that at some other point. I want to stay on topic with this. But you get more bang when you sell something. But the biggest problem is thinking too small. It matriculates down to the items you get to, instead of saying, okay, my house is full, let me go rent a storage unit. It's like, my house is full, let me sell some stuff so I can bring some more stuff in here. It's a simple mindset, but it creates a problem. And that problem is a refusal to grow. You hear it all the time. I don't want to have too much responsibility. I don't want to be bothered. It's too stressful. It's this and it's that. What it is it will keep you in the same place that you currently are for the next for next 10 years, foreseeable future. You'll be in the same exact place doing the same exact things. Another problem with this is established bad habits. I am going to actually do some resale because I have this new company that I started. I'm just going to show you the power of selling larger stuff. And there are challenges. There's challenges to selling small stuff. There are challenges to selling larger stuff. But as a true hustler, you are a problem solver. The more problems that you solve, the more money that you will make. Another issue here is fear. It's like, well, what if something bad happens? I will not sell you any lies. There's a very good chance that something bad could happen. And something bad can happen with your small item. Something that's bad can happen with your medium priced item. Something bad can happen with a large price. I had a bedroom set that the guy paid $4,500 for and shipped it. I thought I packed it right. Everything made it up to where he was except for the rails to the bed. And this was an antique bedroom set. I had to eat $2,500 on the mistake that someone else made. But the bedroom set only cost me $100. So even with a loss, I still made money because I was dealing with something with a lot of profit into it. And that's something you have to look at. Like I said, and I will repeat, you don't have to stop going to Goodwill just yet. You don't have to stop going to garage sales or estate sales. But when you get a few large sales under your belt, you will see what I mean. Because this lack loss mindset will paralyze you into inactivity. I want you to think of it in terms of overall sales. When you have a room full of small stuff, and then it all adds up to maybe $1,000, and you're only selling 20% a month, and you only wonder why you're making $200 a month. That's why you're only making $200 a month, because your inventory matrix is jacked. Now let's talk about that small stuff. There are some people that have a room. There are some people that have several rooms. Unless you're having seasonal items that you know are going to sell for more later, you need to have a big sale every 90 days to really refresh your inventory. I'm not saying the way if it's some seasonal or if it's an item that you need to take to a special auction, because I'll talk about that later in Hustler Mindset. Everything doesn't sell well in the same place. But let's just say you have normal, everyday, average stuff and you got a lot of it and it's kind of choking you. You need to take it to the flea market, blow it out. Have a garage sale, do whatever you can just to blow as much of that stuff out every 90 days as possible, because it not only chokes your space, it chokes off your income stream. Never, ever propose to your inventory. I see people doing this all the time. It's like, oh, I love you. I love you so much. I only paid $5 for you, but I know at some point in the future I could get to $150. And if you haven't gotten that $150, you've checked the market, you've gone to eBay, you've checked Craigslist, and you've really put some effort into finding different sales channels to put that item in. Because remember, everything doesn't sell well in the same sales channel. You need to bomb the price and get rid of it. That's why you have to get your stuff at rock bottom prices, because you make your money when you sell this, when you buy this stuff, not when you sell it. Because the price that you purchase this item never, ever changes, but the price that you hope to sell this item frequently does. Now let's talk about the pack rats. You've got 3-4 rooms full of stuff. You got closet full of stuff. If you go into a closet and you touch something and something falls, you're a pack rat. If you go into a room and you have to kind of shimmy to get into certain spots, you're a pack rat. Having stuff is a sign of wealth, but it has to be properly organized, and you really need to know what you have, because if you have a bunch of stuff and you don't know what you have, you could be losing money, because things are depreciating. There's some things that are going up in value, but most things are going down in value. So you could have something that can make you some money right now, but if you mess around and don't put it on where it needs to be in the proper sales channel for 6 months, you could cost yourself a few dollars or even a few hundred. That's how markets are moving. Everything has an expiration date. So you definitely have to get in there and in those pack rat ways. Now, this is a 2-part challenge. Today, I want you to add up your inventory. For some of you, this will be easy because you already have it on a spreadsheet. I want you to add up everything that you have for sale. Everything, big, small, whatever. Then calculate your sell-through rate. Now, what is a sell-through rate? Say you have 100 items up in a week on eBay, just to keep it easy. And that week comes and goes, and you sold 20 items. Then next week you have another 100 items up, and then next week you sell 22 items. Then the next week goes by and you have 100 items up and you sell 24 items. You add up 20, 22, 24, and you divide that times 3, and that's going to be, or you can go one more week, which will give you a month, and that will give you your consistent average sell-through rate for the month. So you look at your inventory, you look at your sell-through rate. If your inventory is $1,000 worth of stuff and your sell-through rate is 20%, that's $200. Now, how do you increase your sell-through rate? You increase your inventory to the power of 3. You will then go from 200 to 600, and your sell-through rate is exactly the same. Because as you build your business, and depending on what you are, certain categories are going to have a higher sell-through rate, but you have to dictate what that is for you. And I just used the example of eBay, but I want you to do your sell-through rate, add up everything. Amazon, Craigslist, everything that you have for sale in all of your venues, you need to calculate what your sell-through rate is for the month. So you need to get on that and get that information and start working on it, since it's going to take some time to get some true information, because you may have a killer week that's going to skew your numbers. But a month, and the thing is, you're going to do this every month because you're going to be on top of this. Now, once you get this information, you'll have numbers that you can take your business to the next level. Now, this is the place that I became when I got to when I had my former drug dealer partner. We weren't loading our gun correctly. We were doing what you're doing. We were dealing with small stuff. Even though we were dealing with furniture, I would just get a Woody on the unit full of small stuff because it was easier to load. In the storage auction business, I had the pleasure to witness people that were in the game before I got in, and they may still be out there. I don't know. I don't go out there. But I was able to get past them in terms of money very quickly because I had a plan. Because the thing is, if you're not loading your gun and you're not really thinking about your business, you're going to just kind of get in a rut. And understand, you have the power to define, pick, implement. You can do whatever you want with your business. But many people allow the inventory to dictate their business versus the business plan to dictate the inventory. It's kind of like the tail is wagging the dog. You don't need the tail to be wagging the dog. The dog needs to wag the tail. And I see a lot of that on YouTube. It's like this inventory, that inventory. And I don't really see a clear, concise business plan that I'm going to do this or I'm going to do. There's a few people, but for the most part, the tail is wagging the dog. And that's never good. I want you to think bigger today than you will tomorrow. Now, I know that sounds a little strange. but I'm going to explain it. You think big today, right? Then tomorrow, if you're not really thinking big, if you've not really thought about it, it will be smaller than it is today, because most people tend to constrict. You'll do something bold, it doesn't work out, and the next thing you know, tomorrow it's like, we're going to crank it down. So think big today, then emphasize thinking even bigger tomorrow. Simple. Bigger bullets have more impact. When a shell comes out of a tank, it can take out a building. But a BB gun, it may take your eye out, but it's not going to take out a building. There is this reluctance to mess with bigger stuff. It's just like, oh, it's too big, it's too unwieldy, I can't do it, I need someone to... Those are excuses. There's all kinds of ways that you can get people to help you, outsource, do what you need to do. I want you to start really thinking of selling bigger stuff. Because for some of you, based on what I've seen on YouTube and some of your numbers, you can sell one item and make more money off that one item than you make all month doing eBay, Amazon, and whatever else you're doing combined. Because the money's not coming in. Now, I want you to think of all of the large items that you have knowledge about. Cars, I don't care. In most states, you can sell 5 or 6 cars before you become a dealer. Let's just say you bought and sold, you're married, so that's like 12 because your wife can do 6 and you can do 6, and you average $1,000 per car. That's 12 grand extra for some that's kind of sitting in your yard or wherever you put it. But bikes, anything that's big, I want you to think about what do you know about and how can you sell it. Now, another thing I want you to do is how many $100 to $500 items do you have in your current inventory? I want you to create a separate list for those items. I have a feeling that list is going to be really small. So create that list, and if you don't have any, you got to figure out how to get some. You need some of those bigger bullets in your gun. You need those big, 10 gauge shells that when you go boom, when something happens, It happens. You feel it because recently, because I don't use it, I do a lot of my work at my dining room table now. I sold my Herman Miller Aeron chair and I paid $350 for it 2 years ago. I sold it for $425. And I felt it. You know, it was just like when dude counted out $425 and crisp $100 bills and the 20 and the 5. I felt it. And I actually made $75. Well, really more if you want to do depreciation and wear and stuff. I probably made $100 on it and used it for 2 years. That's the hustler mindset. You know, think about stuff in your house that you're really not using. Because people have what I call holditis. It's like, I bought it, I paid for it, it's mine. Really say, does it really make sense for this thing to be in your life? That's one of the reasons when I sold my house, I didn't get another big house. It is too easy to fill up your life with stuff that you don't need. But back on topic, think about those items. Think about how you can get some. And the thing is, you don't have to get 100. You don't. A few will make a huge difference in your profits. And here it is. Your task this session: find 10 items to sell in the price range of $100 to $500 in a week. It should be, it says weeks, but it should be, because really my mind moves so fast, but I want you to do this every week. But your task for this week is to find 10 items to sell in the price of $100 to $500 and keep it up in the coming weeks. So with that, this is wrapping up day 14 of the Hustler University, and you need to get busy. So go.